Saturday's primetime ABC matchup is a very intriguing one as number 4 Tennessee travels to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. The Volunteers have played as well as anybody in the country, clearly are one of the best teams in the entire country, but Arkansas is much better than their 3-2 record would show. So can the Razorbacks pull off the massive upset on Saturday night? That's what we're here to talk about today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad that you could join us. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our exclusive expert picks, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. We are on a 20-10 run against the spread right now, so hitting nearly 67% over just the last 3 weeks. We're beating out over 80% of the national handicappers, not just this year, but also each of the last 6 years. We're offering those picks for one of the lowest prices in the country, and it's a full year-long subscription. So if you buy now, you're getting it through October of next year. Never too early, never too late to sign up. Some of the best picks in the country. You're never going to find an offer or just, benefits that we offer from any other handicapper. We can guarantee you that. So go sign up today. The link for that down in the description below. So again, interesting game here between Tennessee and Arkansas, who, despite not playing very often due to being in separate SEC divisions, up until this year, of course, didn't really play all that often. But Arkansas has won the last 3 meetings against the Volunteers, coming in 2011, 2015, and most recently in 2020. Tennessee has not won in Fayetteville since 2001, but they have only played in Fayetteville 3 other times since then. So don't put too much stock into the fact that it's been over 20 years since Tennessee won here. They haven't had many opportunities to win here since 2001. But you take a look at both these teams, and we'll start with Tennessee, the road team. Obviously, offensively, they are one of the best teams in the country. There's no denying that, right? They are third in the nation with 565.8 yards per game. That's what they're averaging. They're averaging over 275 passing yards per game, led, of course, by the, phenom Nico Iamaleava, who has thrown for over 890 yards and 7 touchdowns this year. But it's the Tennessee ground game that has been the most impressive and kind of the thing that they want to rely on the most. That ground game that averages 290 rushing yards per game features 4 players that have rushed for at least 100 yards, including their leader, Dylan Sampson, who's rushed for 449 yards and 10 touchdowns. This Tennessee offense is about as balanced as they come. They are as explosive as they come. They are extremely fast-paced. They're number 1 in the country in scoring offense, averaging 54 points per game. And it is going to be very difficult for Arkansas to match this team step for step. If this were to become a shootout, Tennessee owns the significant advantage, and obviously it is a very tough challenge for Arkansas's defense to try to even attempt to slow down this Tennessee offense. When you take a look at Arkansas's offense, it is definitely improved. I think we can say that. Compared to what we saw from Arkansas and Dan Enos in 2023, the Razorbacks look much better in 2024 with their new offensive coordinator in Bobby Petrino and a new quarterback in Taylon Green. This team ranks 13th nationally in total offense. They rank 13th at 495 yards per game. So they're putting up the yards. In some instances, they're putting up the points, but yet they're 3-2. They outgained Oklahoma State significantly in that game and still found a way to lose. They outgained A&M by nearly 100 yards just last week and still found a way to lose. And a big part of that was turnovers. A big part of Arkansas losing those games was turnovers. If they can hold on to the ball, they can win these games. If they can control the clock against Tennessee as well, they can win this game. Because they're average over 280 passing yards per game. They're averaging over 212 rushing yards per game. They're extremely balanced. They have that explosive capability. JaQuindon Jackson, the transfer running back from Utah, has been phenomenal this year. 509 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. Taylon Green has rushed for over 330 yards while also throwing for over 1,200 yards. But the problem, again, is awareness and protecting the football. Taylon Green, despite his dual threat ability, has no pocket awareness whatsoever. If he had a lick of pocket awareness, they would have beaten A&M last week. They didn't. They lost 21-17. If he had the ability to make the right reads, they would have beaten A&M. They would have beaten Oklahoma State. His inability to make the correct reads resulted in a big fumble last week against A&M. The Aggies converted. They lost by 4. A&M scored a touchdown off that turnover, of course. 7 points and a 4-point win. They've got to be better in the pocket. They've got to be better in terms of holding on to the football. Again, if they knew how to do that, Arkansas would be 5-0, and this would be a top 15 showdown in Fayetteville on Saturday night. So again, the Razorbacks are better than what their record shows, but is it going to matter against this elite of a team in Tennessee. You take a look at Tennessee's defense. I'll tell you this right now. Arkansas's offense is the best offense that Tennessee has faced this year. The Volunteers really haven't played anybody, right? Chattanooga, NC State, which isn't really saying much. Yes, they went on the road and beat Oklahoma, which was a very impressive win, but as we've seen, the Sooners' offense is very, very bad. Credit to Tennessee's defense, but also Oklahoma has major issues offensively. So Arkansas is the best offense Tennessee has seen so far this year. But that may not matter because this Tennessee defense is crazy, crazy good. They are currently the number one defense in the country. They're allowing just 176 yards per game. That is it. They're giving up just 50.8 rushing yards per game. That is it. The most yardage they've allowed all year came in week 1 against Chattanooga, where they allowed 227 yards and 74 rushing yards. That's the most rushing yards they've allowed all year. 74 in week 1 against Chattanooga. And again, they played Chattanooga, they played Kent State, they played NC State, they played Oklahoma. None of those guys are world beaters. None of those guys are all that impressive. Arkansas really isn't either, but I would venture to say that Arkansas is probably the best team offensively, again, out of those 4 that Tennessee has faced. So the numbers are skewed a little bit, but there is no denying that Tennessee has an electric front 7. Their defensive line is insane, and that is not going to bode well for an Arkansas offensive line that has struggled mightily this year. Has struggled mightily against pressure. Did so against Auburn. They were lucky to win that. They did so last week against A&M. They failed to win that. So Tennessee, I think, is going to come out here and pressure the heck out of Taylor Green and try to force him into multiple mistakes, just like he's done all year long. When you take a look at the Arkansas defense, they've got a tall task ahead of them, right? They are facing the best offense they have seen all year. There's no denying that. But credit to Travis Williams and the Razorbacks. They've held their own defensively in these games. The defense did everything they could against Oklahoma State before they couldn't. The defense really shouldn't get a whole lot of flack because the offense put them in bad positions. Same can be said against A&M. The defense did everything they could in that game. They only could hold on for so long. They did their job, but the offense failed to do theirs. Travis Williams has built up a solid defense in Fayetteville. They rank 47th in the country, allowing just 319 yards per game. They're only giving up 93 rushing yards per game. So the Hogs have been solid. The numbers have been slightly skewed because while the defense is doing what they need to do, the offense isn't. So the defense is either playing on a very short field or they're out on the field a lot more than they want to be, and eventually you're going to get run down. So what is Arkansas's key in this game defensively? What do they have to do? They've got to find the way to force Nico Iamaleava into mistakes. You look at Tennessee, we talk about the run game, that's what they want to do. The Razorbacks really haven't allowed teams to run all over them. If they can contain that Tennessee run game and force Nico Iamaleava to win this game through the air, the Hogs might have a chance. The secondary has forced 6 interceptions so far this year. Yes, the majority of those came in that Auburn game, but still, they've done a very good job at creating turnovers. They've done a little bit of a decent job creating pressure. 10 sacks on the year, but it doesn't really feel like it. Limiting the run game and limiting the big explosive plays is going to be key for the Arkansas defense on Saturday night. And again, what it will be, no doubt, their toughest test of the year so far. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Saturday night, number 4 Tennessee, Arkansas and Fayetteville. I think a lot of us, with the primetime game like this, especially in what's a relatively lackluster weekend for all of college football, I think the majority of us would love to see a good, close, competitive game in Fayetteville. That's what we would like to see, but that's not what we're going to see. Tennessee is going to win this game by double digits. I feel very confident in that. Again, I'd love to see this game come down to the wire. I just don't think it's going to happen. The Volunteers own the better offense. They own the better defense. And Arkansas, yes, owns home field advantage, but their home field advantage is not nearly as good as Sam Pittman wants to believe it is, or not nearly as good as Arkansas fans want to believe it is. So you can go out there and you can do your stripe out all night long, but that stadium is going to look pretty empty pretty early on. Tennessee wins this game by double digits. Arkansas drops another game, 3-3, as the Hogs prepare to head into their bye week. Tennessee remains undefeated, once again showing why they're one of the best teams in the country in a true college football playoff contender. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our exclusive expert picks, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country, beating out over 80% of the national handicappers, not just right now, but each of the last 6 years. So go take advantage of that, sign up, and win big with us today. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.